Hey, you guys heard they're making a sequel to The Force Awakens? Alright, let's not get copyrighted. The first official look at Star Wars The Last Jedi. Stats, roll the tape. I love how this trailer opens up with the iconic Star Wars black sky filled with stars, pan down after the opening crawl, and then that starry backdrop fades into the surface of a mountain on the planet of Ahch-To. This is where Rey finds Luke at the end of Force Awakens. Now this first look at Rey is very similar to the first look we got of Finn in the second teaser for The Force Awakens when he's on Jakku, he's sweating and he's gasping for air, so it's a nice little throwback to a year and a half ago. This could be a shot of Rey recovering from her training with Luke, or maybe she's in some sort of fight with another Force user, possibly Luke. We know those Skywalkers love to Force choke.
Be careful not to choke on your aspirations, Director.
It looks like Luke and Rey are going to spend a lot of their time in Episode 8 on Ahch-To, Luke helping Rey learn the ways of the Force. It's very similar to Yoda and Luke in Empire Strikes Back, so there we go, Star Wars, stealing again, stealing from yourself. Does that even make sense? I don't know. This was probably my second favorite shot in the trailer. It reminded me of that scene in Man of Steel when Superman is learning to fly and the ground is moving. This is so cool. Zack Snyder influencing Star Wars. He's everywhere. The god, Zack Snyder. Rey is already pretty powerful in the Force, so I think they're going to explore her powers in Episode 8, and maybe we'll find out why she was already so powerful, because it's not a plot hole, but it's definitely a question that needs to be answered. It's very interesting that they chose to use Rey's theme in this trailer, which was my favorite piece of new music from The Force Awakens. The Force Awakens was very much Rey's movie. It was her origin story, and now moving forward, I think she, and Kylo Ren really, will be on a personal journey of self-discovery, trying to understand who they are, and also understand the balance between the light and the dark, especially Kylo Ren, because that boy is conflicted. In this shot, you can hear some original Princess Leia dialogue, the iconic, "Help me, Obi-Wan, you're my only hope." So that's pretty cool. This trailer is filled with these little audio snippets from the original trilogy. Seeing Carrie Fisher in this movie is going to be so bittersweet. It's really fitting that her final role on screen is in a Star Wars movie, playing one of the most iconic film characters of all time, so it's going to be bittersweet. And I hope she has a bigger role in this movie than she did in Episode 7. In this particular shot, I think she's looking at the map to Skywalker, the map to Luke. She was the driving force in Episode 7 in bringing Luke back into the fold, or, you know, this could just be her game planning against the First Order. Don't fuck with General Organa. She's swifty. Light. Kylo Ren's mask destroyed. Maybe stepping out of the shadow of Darth Vader, embracing his role as the leader of the Knights of Ren. There have been rumors that Kylo Ren is going to spend most of the movie without his mask in pouty Kylo Ren face. I really never understood the criticism of this character. I thought he was the best new character in Episode 7. His internal conflict between the light and the dark is fascinating. It's basically driven him to madness. It's everything we wanted to see out of Anakin Skywalker in the prequels. They're basically doing justice to the Anakin Skywalker story with his grandson. Once again, you can hear a faded voice talking about the dark side. I thought this was Palpatine when I first heard it, but I think it was just Snoke talking to Kylo Ren. Darkness. This looks like it could be Luke Skywalker's personal Jedi library, a collection of old Jedi texts and documents and scriptures. You can also hear the voice of Yoda. It's the same audio that they used during Rey's Force vision when he's explaining the Force to Luke in Empire Strikes Back. It binds us.
Binds us. Luminous beings are we, not this crude matter.
Now, this could be Yoda's personal collection that Luke found, and I definitely think we are going to see Yoda as a Force ghost in this movie, along with Ewan McGregor as Force ghost Obi-Wan, and I really hope they bring back Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker as a Force ghost, because he's given such a hard time for the prequels, and those movies were not his fault. That dialogue, I love you, George, but oh god. This book in particular, in this shot, it resembles a non-canon book called The Jedi Path, which is basically the Jedi Bible. It teaches young Padawans how to become a Jedi, and it was owned by several prominent Star Wars characters: Yoda, Count Dooku, Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, Anakin, Ahsoka. Even Palpatine got his hands on it at one point, and its current owner is Luke. The Jedi Path novel is not canon, but it looks like Rian Johnson may have been inspired by it, and it even resembles the book that you can buy on Amazon or Barnes & Noble. It's old and faded with ripped pages, but you can see that it used to be blue, and it shares the same Jedi Order symbol. This could also be the Journal of the Whills. The Journal of the Whills was first made canon by Alan Dean Foster in his novelization of The Force Awakens. The book actually opens with a quote from the journal. It's essentially a Jedi textbook. It contains the history of the Jedi Order, so Rey can use this book to learn about the generations of Jedi that came before her. But this movie seems to be more about the balance between the light and the dark. When you hear the lines by Rey in this trailer, I feel the light, I feel the dark, I feel a balance. Even in the poster, we see her holding a blue lightsaber and then it becomes red, and it's split between Luke and Kylo Ren, the light and the dark, and then Rey is in the middle, the gray. Which could mean she is a character that is going to balance the Force, or she is going to be a Jedi that can understand both the light and the dark and channel both sides. This symbol also resembles the original A New Hope poster, and the new Last Jedi poster is very similar. Rey is in a similar pose to Luke. And right after Rey touches the book, you can hear the sound of a lightsaber ignite.
So much bigger.
So at the end of the trailer, Luke says, the Jedi need to end, but he's training Rey right now, and they're still on Ahch-To, so this right here looks like it could be a statue. Ahch-To is home to the oldest Jedi temple, so it could be an old Jedi statue or monument. This was my favorite shot of the trailer. The cinematography for these last two Star Wars movies have been incredible, and this one looks just as good. I love the new ship designs, expanding the Star Wars universe instead of just using the X-Wings and the Y-Wings and the TIE Fighters. I love TIE Fighters, I love X-Wings, I love Y-Wings, but give me something new. This new planet is named Crait, confirmed by Rian Johnson. It has never been seen in a Star Wars movie before, and was home to an old rebellion base. I'm assuming after the Resistance destroyed Starkiller Base, they had to change their home planet, since their base on Dakar was discovered. It was about to be blown up. Now this scene in particular resembles the attack on Hoth from Empire Strikes Back. You could see the AT-ATs in the distance. AT-ATs are awesome, but I really hope they have some upgrades. I just love how the ships are gliding on the red and white sand. The color red, I don't want to focus too much on the color red, but red sand, red letters for the logo. Red is the color of the Sith, the color of blood, the color of love, represents family. The second movie is always the darkest. First, look at Finn, still recovering from his Kylo Ren-induced coma. We don't see him in action in this trailer, but I think he's going to spend most of the movie with BB-8 and Poe Dameron. These guys, BB-8 and Poe, they're always on the run. I would love to see a Netflix series based on their wacky adventures. The Poe Dameron comic is great. You should definitely check it out if you haven't. This scene looks like it could be an attack by the First Order on the Rebellion. I mean, the Resistance. I keep fucking mixing them up. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the scene directly before the other scene with the ships gliding on the sand. Now I'm going to take a wild guess and say that's Rey inside the Millennium Falcon. It's definitely not Han Solo. Spoilers! Rey and Luke are going to have to leave Ahch-To eventually, so they may be forced out by an attack, and Rey did come there in the Millennium Falcon, so it's in her possession. Rey on the run, and she looks pissed. This could be part of her Rocky Balboa training montage, or she could be ready to fight somebody. Oh, this shot is awesome. Kylo Ren looking just like Anakin Skywalker in Revenge of the Sith. He's got that look in his eyes like he's going to kill some younglings.
Master Skywalker, there are too many of them. What are we going to do?
I don't know how people can think this character is redeemable after he killed Han Solo, but if he does turn back to the light, he better sacrifice his life. I can't just see Kylo Ren as a Jedi. Like, oh, guess who's back? I'm a good guy now. No, just it doesn't work like that.
Truth.
Now, this shot, we've seen it several times. First, we saw it in the second teaser for The Force Awakens 2015, and then we saw it in the actual movie during Rey's Force vision. Like most people, I assumed it was a flashback. I think we are going to see this scene play out in Episode 8, either as a flashback or in real time. It could be one of two things. It could be a flashback where Luke is searching for the first Jedi temple, and he is attacked by the First Order. They found out where he is. He puts the map into R2-D2 and he sends him on his way, and then he just goes ape shit. Or it could be basically the same thing in real time, a confrontation between Luke and the First Order. Maybe the Knights of Ren. We see Captain Phasma. She's got some stormtroopers behind her. Please give Captain Phasma something to do in this movie. Space battle with some new ship designs. That's always a welcome sight. And now this.
It's time for the Jedi to end.
The first time Luke Skywalker has talked in a movie for over 33 years. I only know one truth. It's time for the Jedi to end. What does this mean? Are the Jedi over? Are they breaking up? Luke really sounds like a broken man. I mean, people joke about how little screen time he had in The Force Awakens, but just look at his face. Look at all the emotion he is portraying in a matter of 15 seconds. Pain, grief, anxiety, without saying a single word. The death of his Jedi pupils, being betrayed by his nephew, I think all of this is driving Luke to change his philosophy. I think he is starting to believe that the Jedi have become antiquated. I don't think he necessarily wants them to go extinct, but instead change their philosophy. At the end of Revenge of the Sith, Yoda is starting to believe that Jedi became too dogmatic, and that was the cause of their destruction and the fall of Anakin Skywalker to the dark side. Instead of making the decision to train Luke and Leia from a young age, Yoda wants them to develop with the living force. Without the rules, without the guidance, without the training, it's a new approach that does work, because Luke goes from a 19-year-old farmer to somebody who blew up the Death Star. It's the same thing with Rey. Rey has lived her life with the guidance of the living force rather than the Jedi Order. Her accomplishments really aren't too far-fetched if you look at this new approach of developing Jedi. Luke has obviously been searching for answers. His search for the Jedi Temple may have inspired him to develop a new philosophy for Force-sensitive beings, one that allows them to channel the light and the darkness inside of them. We hear in the beginning of the trailer Luke telling Rey, "Breathe, take it in, what do you feel?" Or this line could be very early in the film, and I'm overanalyzing it. "Hey, it's time for the Jedi to end. But Luke, there's a bad guys a-coming." Oh, okay, whatever. Give me a saber. Let's go kick some ass. There are some notable characters that don't appear in this trailer. Benicio del Toro's character, Laura Dern's character. We don't see Snoke, but I do think we hear him at one point. This is only the teaser. This is so we can dip a toe, feel the water, get excited. But overall, I thought this was a very well done trailer. It's not giving away the plot, but it is giving you the overall theme of Episode 8. We have this internal conflict with the three main characters, Rey, Kylo, and Luke. They all don't know what to do, and I think exploring that in Episode 8 is going to be fantastic. Rian Johnson was such a terrific choice to direct this movie, and I am, how many days? How many days? Somebody commented, giveaway. You comment the days until Star Wars, we'll send you an Amazon gift card. Giveaway. That's what we do, on the spot.